Y'all shut up now!
Well, there's no reason to be sorry for liking Sweet Johnny. Sweet Johnny likes you too.
Yeah, boy, howdy, y'all, and welcome back to another awesome episode of America's Top 10. America made, baby.
This is a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
America. Ain't nowhere else in the world like it. If you ain't from here, then you wouldn't understand. Things are done a little bit different here in the land of the free and home of the brave. For example, it's not the land of the free and the home of the brave anymore, you silly goose. It's the land of the illusion of freedom and the home of the censored. It's definitely strange over here in the United States, although we like to think we are the center of the universe. It's a place where thieves, murderers, and children chasers run the country. It's the only place where American traditions are taken over by other cultures.
Yeah, yo, macaron, yeah, macaron, no, chacaron, 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 chacaron.
I can't understand a word you said the whole time.
Do you eat some peanut butter or something?
Yeah, you sound like a dog with peanut butter on the roof of your mouth.
Press number 1 for English, am I right? Bad Bunny. More like bad English.
Why are you the way that you are?
We are the only place in the world where protests are government funded and not a single American flag is in sight. But luckily, we're distracted by fake news, struggling wages, and gay Star Trek. So I guess we're doing okay. Can the American government at least provide some lube before they bend me over? Jeez Louise. America is a place where murderers are released to avoid a race war, all because the glove didn't fit. It's a fantasy place where 60% of school shootings is done by trans people, but yet we let them walk the streets instead of putting them in a mental institution. America is best described by its culture.
Chinese food,
Chinese food,
That's from China,
pizza,
Italy,
chimichanga.
Mexican.
We got corn dogs, government cheese, and P. Diddy. Boy, that didn't age well. Now, America isn't all gangs, rape, and violence. In fact, time moves a little bit slower here in the South. Not as many people, just full of rednecks, hillbillies, and kissing cousins. The South is more quiet, peaceful, and fun. It's full of guns, muddy boots, and meth. The South of the United States is very different from the rest of America. Them there Southerners are tough as nails. Country bred and cornbread fed, let me tell you. The South is full of redneck, hillbillies, and mountain men combined, surrounded by tobacco chewing, beer chugging, and barbecuing. It's where the number of the teeth in your mouth explains your IQ score. It's a very manly atmosphere. The only place that won't get involved in worldly affairs, but God forbid you put a trans person on a beer can and they won't drink it because it will turn them gay. You don't even want to know how they reacted when the government tried to stop drinking and driving.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be communist country.
Southerners are a special kind of people. 40% brute strength, 10% inbred, and 50% out of their mind. You may not be able to understand them half the time, but there's not another group of people that I'd rather be with during a zombie apocalypse. And my God, the concoctions they can come up with when they're just plain drunk or bored is wild. They can fix anything with duct tape. They can fix anything with a motor. And they'll jump on any animal with 4 legs. If they ain't on top of a family member, then you can guarantee they're riding something else. Rednecks can come up with some of the most amazing hobbies, games, and activities. Which brings me to the main reason why you all are here. So let's review some of these American pastime games here in the South. Some might sound familiar, some might make perfect sense, while some are nuts, and they'll have you asking why. Either way, you'll never look at rednecks or hillbillies the same again. So now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Here are America's top 10 redneck games of the South. Again. Number 1. Lawnmower Demolition Derby. A lawnmower demolition derby is exactly what it sounds like it is. Basically, it's bumper cars, but on steroids. The concept is simple. Get you a good old raggedy lawnmower, and the object is to concoct and entwine a Frankenstein-type mower/doomsday machine by souping it up, or rebuilding the neighbor's lawnmower that they let you borrow months ago, assuming that it didn't already get pawned off for cigarettes, meth, and beer money. You take the mower, line it up, and then crash it into the other opponents until there's only one mower left still mowing. So yeah, you just crash into each other, and this is not to be confused with lawnmower racing. A lawnmower derby is a type of motorsport usually presented at a small town's fair. The lawnmower derby originated in the bottom areas of the United States, and then it quickly spread like wildfire through the rolling hills, flat plateaus, and wooden plains of the southern regions. Rules may vary from state to state, but a typical lawnmower demolition derby consists of at least 5 or more drivers competing by personally ramming their mower into one another until the last drivers whose mower is still operational is declared the victor. Serious injuries may vary, stemming from at least typical riding injuries such as whiplash, provoking more serious life-threatening actions like broken limbs, paralyzation, and or even death. In other words, you gotta be a special kind of stupid to do something like this. In fact, the drivers are required to sign a waiver, just in case anything happens. Most mower derbies are held on dirt tracks or open fields. The part of the vehicle used to ram opponents also varies, depending on the driver. Some drivers use the front and the back. Some drivers just use the back to protect and keep the engine from damages. The lawnmowers are jump-started at the beginning of the round, but they cannot be restarted once power is lost during the event itself. If it dies, you're out. No ifs, ands, or buts. No excuses. The blades must be removed from the mowers themselves. Thank goodness, my God, could you imagine? We'd be watching a whole different sport. The first mower was invented in 1830. Bet you didn't know this was going to be a history lesson. And ever since then, they have been stripped down and manipulated to compete in almost every sport that requires 4 wheels and an engine. Number 2. Pig feet bobbin. Bobbing for pig's feet is an event described to be similar to bobbing for apples, but it's more slimy and grimy. The main difference, unlike apples, the pig's feet don't float, especially when they're frozen or uncooked. Basically, you dunk your head in an object that holds water, and then you attempt to grab the pig's feet at the bottom of the container with just your mouth. Hands are illegal, you cannot use them, and you can be disqualified. In fact, that's the only rule in the game itself. No hands can be used in the process, mouth action only.
That's what she said.
If you want to keep the kids busy in the backyard, then grease them suckers down and throw them in a bucket of water. The pig's feet, not the kids. It's a guaranteed way to keep them kids busy for hours because yes, this sport is for all ages. To some, the sport may be very trashy, gross, or disgusting, but pig's feet is considered a delicacy here in the South. Number 3. Cow tipping. Cow tipping is the activity of sneaking up onto an unsuspecting or sleeping upright standing cow, and then you proceed to push the cow over for entertainment purposes only. Cow tipping is generally considered an urban legend, a myth, or even a conspiracy theory. But royal citizens, or just a drunk uncle, claim such entertainment due to lack of alternative entertainments actually do happen. The concept of cow tipping apparently developed in 1970. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because there was a lot of wacky tobacco in the air. Cows routinely lie down and can easily regain their footing unless sick or injured. Cow tipping has many different references in pop culture. Scientific studies have been conducted and determine if cow tipping is even possible. Most conclude that cows are large animals and would require up to 4 to 5 people to be able to push a cow over. But hillbillies and rednecks claim that all you need is brute strength, cocaine, and a 12-pack of beer to get the job done. Number 4. Tobacco Spit Contest. In 1966, Mississippi held its first national tobacco chewing contest, but the sport itself goes all the way back to the 50s. The spit is measured by distance. Basically, you put some tobacco in your mouth, let your mouth fill up with spit, tobacco juice, crank back your head as far as you can, then let it fly as your head tilts forward. The technique is to wad the tobacco spit up in your mouth, build up air pressure behind the spit, and then try to release it all at once, perfectly coordinated with the snapping forward of the neck. There are rules to the many ways contestants are allowed to spit. There's the 2-finger pucker, an open stance, or simply spit between the teeth. In 1986, the world record was set for the longest tobacco spit, as it sets at a whopping 33 feet long and 7.5 inches. 25 years later, the record was broke. It now sets at a wowing 20 feet further, coming to a whopping 53 feet and 3 inches. The contest can also be used with cherry pit spitting or even dead crickets, according to historians.
First place will be a brass spittoon and a cash award of $20.
Number 5. Downhill Barbie Jeep Racing. Downhill Barbie Jeep Racing is a slapstick competitive style competition where participants race on Jeeps downhill. It's a fun fan favorite activity. It's an off-road racing event that'll have you in stitches, either from competing or just witnessing with laughter. It's the most fun a car buff and adrenaline junkie can get out of 15 pounds of plastic. It's a simple concept. Take a Power Wheels child vehicle, break off the driving gear, and go down a big-ass steep hill and hold on for dear life. Since 2010, competitors who typically are grown men, many of which have wives, kids, and mortgages, have been hurling down rocky hills and mountainsides in little girls' wheeled toys on purpose. Basically, it takes someone with a low IQ all hopped up on trucker speed pills, energy drinks, and a 12-pack of liquid courage. It's a rugged man's contest to see who can make it to the bottom of the downhill course without completely wiping out. The sport originated in Alabama and had been featured on ESPN. Not sure if alcohol was involved or someone just tweaking on meth, but the outcome was outstanding. The Jeeps can be modified with longer wheels, bigger tires, and better seating. Bruises and broken bones are temporary, but first place and paralyzation is forever. Depending on how the night goes, the winner may even take home a cousin or two. Are you man enough or just plain stupid to take on the next extreme downhill Barbie Jeep racing? Number 6. Fried Green Tomato Contest. Fried green tomatoes are a cultural dish, usually found in the United States, loaded with cornmeal and fried. Recipes in the 20th century were mainly published in the Northeast United States and Midwestern United States. It became known as the food of the South after it got popular in the film Fried Green Tomatoes. Once a year, people gather to their local town and country state fair, participating in these tasty sour treats. Contestants proceed to whop up a batch of their finest fried green tomatoes, sometimes usually including the secret generational family recipe to be judged at the end. And the trophy is mostly just for bragging rights only. Number 7. Snipe hunting. Snipe hunting refers to both the legitimate pursuit of a real snipe bird and a well-known practical joke or a fool's errand. The actual bird is a challenging game bird found in the wetlands of Scottish wildlife, while the prank involves tricking an unsuspecting victim into trying to catch a non-existent creature, often at night. The term snipe originated from the advanced skills needed to shoot the real bird due to its erratic flight pattern. It's an American campfire prank in which an unsuspecting newcomer is duped into trying to catch an exclusive exotic animal called a snipe. Although the snipe is a real bird, a snipe hunt is a quest for a non-existent creature whose depiction varies depending on the area. The target of the prank is to lead someone to an outdoor spot and give them instructions for catching the bird. These often include waiting in the dark, holding an empty bag, or making noises to attract the creature. Examples: hitting 2 sticks together, yelling snipe in a high-pitched voice, and or hitting trees. The others involved in the prank then leaves the newcomer alone in the woods to discover the joke. As an American rite of passage, snipe hunting is often associated with summer camp fun and similar outdoor country activities. Number 8. Car Jump Competition. A car jump competition is a must-see attraction for all rednecks and hillbillies combined. Grab your wife, get the kids, and don't forget the dog as you head down to your local fair. Enjoy yummy corn dogs with a side of funnel cake as you witness cars taking turns launching themselves through the air over a line of cars as the contestant lands the longest distance with the car still operational, declaring himself numero uno. And that's number 1 for those of you that don't speak German. The drivers accelerate over a ramp and attempt to fly over a line of disassembled old cars and land safely on the opposite side. Needless to say, those that fall from the sky and crash into a line of wrecked cars in spectacular fashion get some of the biggest applause. Each attempt is judged on acceleration, the reaction from the crowd, and of course distance. However, whoever jumps the furthest technically wins. These vehicles aren't usually designed to handle these kinds of jumps. The hard landing alone is typically enough to do major damage. The fact that most of the vehicles land nose first only increases the carnage. Airbags are disabled so as to avoid injuries to the drivers. Never heard that before. In most cases, the radiator and cooling system ends up being punctured, and most of the cars don't live to make a second run. Obviously, jumping a car does come with risks. Those with fear of back injuries need not apply. And I don't know if this sport is due to autistic geniusism or just years of hillbilly inbred retardation, but I love it either way. Number 9. Washers. Similar to horseshoes, washers is a game that includes teams of players taking turns throwing washers toward a box or hole in the ground. The game has many variations and may be called washer toss, washer pitching, or even warshoes, which is based on the similarity to horseshoes. Both are considered classics here in the South, and the object of the game is to earn points by tossing metal washers usually around 2 inches wide toward a hole or a PVC pipe sticking out of the ground. The hole, or goal if you will, are placed approximately 20 feet away from each other. A player stands on, next to, or even behind one hole and throws the washers toward the other hole. The game is normally played to 21 points. The pointing system varies depending on the location in which the game is played, and this game can include kids and adults alike. It's some good old Southern entertainment, and this game can be played anywhere, anytime, even in your own backyard. Number 10. Whittling. Whittling is the art of carving shapes out of raw wood using a knife. It is a time-consuming process of repeating shaving slivers from a piece of wood. It is used by many in the South as a pastime or as a way to make artistic creations. Whittling is one of the oldest forms of woodworking, with the oldest known wooden sculpture dating back all the way to 11,500 years ago. In America, whittling became popular in the 19th century, especially among sailors and in the South. It was also a common activity during the Civil War and the Great Depression. Whittling is not to be confused with wood carving. The main difference comes down to how you remove the wood and what kind of results you're aiming for. Whittling is usually simpler, more portable, and more knife-focused. Wood carvings can range from a simple knife to a highly detailed work using special tools. In most competitions, the whittlers are giving a time limit to work on their creations. The possibilities are endless, from whimsical creatures to interactive designs. Participants are encouraged to let their imagination run wild. Contestants with big knives claim that it makes the process better. Other contestants claim that they are just showing off. You know what they say here in the South, the guy with the biggest knife has the smallest whittle.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The stakes are high as the winner will earn a full year of deserved bragging rights, and maybe even a shiny belt buckle. So mark your calendars, gather your tools, and prepare to witness the ultimate display of skill and creativity at the yearly whittling competition. Are you ready to get your whittle on?
It's not trying to take off a whole bunch.
And with that being said, that's going to be it for me, guys. You've reached the end of the episode. If you would, please don't forget to leave a like and a comment. And I want to thank you for your time and thank you for your patience. And I hope to see you again real soon on the next episode. And please, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little ringy-dingy thing for more awesome content, just like the video you just watched. And remember, as always, there's no reason to be sorry for liking Sweet Johnny. Sweet Johnny likes you too.